All right, how we doing, everybody? Matt Modi here with OddsJam. Let's lock in some college hoops. So we have some pretty awesome games today, pretty awesome college basketball games tonight. Some of them start pretty early, so make sure that you hop on these as soon as possible. Going to give you my favorite college hoops bets for today. Of course, using OddsJam, using the positive expected value page to find these sharp, mathematically profitable college basketball bets. And so we have some really good games. So we have a random play that this one's really good. I'm going to try and find plays for the actual good games that people are probably going to be watching tonight, like Kansas, Tennessee, like Purdue, Gonzaga, stuff like that. But this play I thought was so good that I wanted to at least mention it. Stephen F. Austin, -5 at -109 odds at Circa. You can also get it at -110 at Bet365. I know these two sports books aren't available in a ton of states, but if you can get SF Austin, pretty much any number that is -115 or below, I think it's a really good play, worth a full unit. $100 which that would be for me. Let's talk about it. The SF Austin -5. So number one, of course, it's positive EV. The Novig odds price this almost 11 cents higher at just below -120, -119.84. We can round this up to -120. So almost 11-cent difference between what Circa is giving us or 10-cent difference from Bet365. So right off the bat, that's a really good play. EV percent of just above 4.5. So 4.5 EV percent, $4.50 expected profit for every $100 bet. That all looks good from a math perspective. Of course, every play on here is going to look good from a math perspective, right? That's kind of how positive expected value betting works. But the reason why this is such a good play, so there's two things that I like to look for. Number one is if you click open a play, right, pulls up where every sportsbook prices it. So Bet365 and Circa are kind of close, -109, -110. Look at every other book. DraftKings, -150. BetRivers, -120. Fox Bet, -133. Pinnacle, -133. Three books, two books that, one book that has it kind of in between the bet that we are placing it at and the rest of the books. And then we have Pinnacle and Fox Bet all the way in the -130s, and then DraftKings all the way at -150. And then what I like to do is if you view this event page in a new tab, pulls up where every sportsbook prices this spread in general, so we can see how the main lines differ. So we got it at -5, right? At -109. Look at where every other book prices it. We see 5.5. Looks like BetMGM, FanDuel, Tipico. BetRivers has the true line at 5.5. Fox Bet, as does PlayUp. Then we see some at -6, so a point higher than what we got it at. That looks to be Caesars, DraftKings, WinBet, BetOnline. And this is really important. BetOnline is a very sharp sportsbook that we use to kind of set odds, right? To set lines. Now they're one of the books. And then at -6.5, so a 1.5 better than what we got it at, is where Pinnacle has it at. They price it at -6.5. And we're getting them all the way down at -5. That's a pretty good price, right? For spreads and totals. It might not seem like a lot, but beating the closing line, even if it's by half a point, even if it closes at 5.5 and we get it at 5, can literally be the difference between not making money and making money in the long run. So I couldn't pass up this valuable play, this SF Austin -5. So this is going to be my first betting pick for today, my college basketball one. Another bet that I really liked in a not horrible game, Colgate versus Delaware. Colgate -5 at -109 odds. The Novig line prices this at about -116. And look across the board. Again, BetRivers kind of close at -120. Pinnacle, -125. Fox Bet, -133. DraftKings, -140. You open this one up in a new tab, you open the spread. And again, we're getting it at -5. Same thing here. Most books have it at 5.5. Some have it at 6. Some even have it at 6.5. So another play in which we're getting insane value, where we're getting it from a market perspective in terms of where sportsbooks price the -5, and also from a market perspective from where every other book prices this spread to be. So Colgate wins by exactly 5. Your bet at least pushes, and every other bet would have lost. So getting these mainline markets at the best odds. Like for the favorite, we want them as the lowest number, right? The underdog is the opposite. For totals, we want to take an over at the highest, an under at the lowest, or at the highest, an over at the lowest, right? Kind of all that stuff is very, very important to being profitable in the long run. So this is going to be my second pick, Colgate to -5. And then I have a pick in the Gonzaga versus Purdue game. What we're looking at here is, if I can find it, we're looking at Gonzaga -5.5. Here we go. So we're taking the main line, Gonzaga to cover 5.5. So it says the odds change, but it's still available, so we're still good. Bet Rivers prices this at -110. And look across the board at every other book. -126 on Pinnacle, -143 on Fox Bet, Tipico -130, DraftKings -140. Pretty awesome price we're getting here. So the odds changed on the Purdue side. So the Gonzaga -5.5 is still good to go. And again, look where other books price it. We're getting them at -5.5. -6.5 is where every other book prices it. And for a game as big as this, that gets as much action as this, that full point difference, that's massive. That is a huge difference between all of the sports books. So this is going to be my third play, Gonzaga versus Purdue, Gonzaga -5.5. The Novig line prices this at about -114. We can get it at -110. That's a good play. And then I have a play in the Kansas game as well, not Arkansas State. What we're looking at here is the Kansas first half money line, +106 odds at Circa. So Kansas, obviously the slight underdog here to Tennessee, but this first half money line play is pretty good. Pinnacle favors it at -111, and we're getting it all the way at plus money and all the way up at +106. DraftKings has it basically as a 50-50 proposition, -115 each way. We are getting it for plus money. So this play on Circa is a really good one. Another play on Circa, Kansas Kansas first half money line +106 is a good play. And then I also saw a play. What we're looking at here, it was in the Duke game. They played Xavier. Here we go. The over 147. So we're looking at Xavier versus Duke. Xavier versus Duke over 147. This play is at -110. You can get this on WinBet, which is available pretty much everywhere. Another really good play, Novig odds. Pinnacle prices this at -113. Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, prices this at -129. And then look across the board, -133, -121, -140. And then we have the other -110 and -115. You open this one up in a new tab, you look where every other sportsbook prices it. So we're getting over 147. And you can buy half a point at FanDuel, get it over 146.5 and get a good price there, but you're sacrificing worse odds. But look at where every other sportsbook prices it. 147.5 is what we got it. We got it at 147. 147.5, we see BetMGM, Caesars. Looks like Tipico and Bet Rivers favorite going over at this number. BetOnline prices it all the way up at 148.5, a full 1.5 higher than what we got it at. So another really awesome play. This is like my fourth or fifth college basketball bet for today. Duke versus Xavier over 147.5. And that is going to be it for this video. That is going to be all of my college basketball plays. So if you're tailing any and all of these, comment and let me know. But that's all I got. So appreciate you guys watching and have a good one.